Hi, what's up? Welcome back to After the Cut podcast. We got a special guest today. How you doing today, Hawk?
Blessed, bro. Blessed to be here, man.
How's your day like so far today, man?
And it's been a blessing, bro. I look at every day as a blessing that you get an opportunity to wake up, man, and, be great at what you do. And, hit that wake up list.
Gotcha. Yeah, because it's not guaranteed, right?
Not guaranteed, bro. I started cutting hair probably about over 15 years ago. Started when I was 12, originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. Got started cutting. I was honestly just cutting my own hair. My pops had us in a situation where it was like he was giving us those military cuts, but, just doing the best that he could do, take us to the shop from time to time. I think what it was, he was giving us like them hard, like just not faded all the way cuts. And it was just like going to school like that. It was just like, man, I can't keep getting clowned on like this, Pop. So I'm like, yo, is there any other options that we got? So he was just like, either you can get a job or you can cut your own hair. I was actually an artist before, so I used to draw a lot. So picking up the clippers was just like picking up another, tool for me to just do artwork with. So that's how I got started. I think I was 12 years old at the time. Went to barber school after I graduated high school, and I ain't looked back ever since.
Gotcha. So you were getting them, I call them blade fades.
Yeah. They was getting blade fades, you know what I mean? I like those right there.
You know what I'm saying? My cousin got those. So like my cousin, we said, I remember, so this is before like myself. So we sitting there in the PJs in Buffalo, right? Mm-hmm. And my uncle Eric used to cut my cousin's hair. Okay. So he would get the joint. So he would put it, straight up and down. He put the fade line in there. So he'd fade around his whole head, right? Yeah. But hit the top with a 1.5 haircut over.
Come on, man. Come on, man. It's hard to go to school like that, bro.
Right. So he would ask me, "You want one?" Nah. I'm in the background laughing the whole time. Like,
I'm good. I take the even Steven from the shop.
Facts. I don't need that. So going back to your background, man, like, do you regret cutting hair? There's at any time that you be like, did I make the right decision?
So I honestly, I can say, man, I never had a thought of like regretting choosing cutting hair. You know what I'm saying? Because it was something that I prayed about when I used to, like I said, grew up playing basketball. Okay. So my senior year I didn't play, but that was like right before I got the opportunity to cut in my first shop. So it was one of those things where I had to pray on it. Like, is this something that I'm really supposed to do? And I had like opportunities to obviously like go to the Army and, do other things, basketball, go to college. But once I just knew like, what is it that I'm supposed to do? And God showed me like barbering was that lane for me. I've always been just big on like, if God told me, I'm good. You get what I'm saying? Right. Like, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be at. So for me to get that at an early age, especially like before really jumping in the industry like that, that was always my foundation. Like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And like, no matter what nobody say, no matter how it's looking in this present moment, like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. So that was the blessing for me.
So I tell everybody, like, personally, I feel like that what we do is a faith-based business. You see what I'm saying? Because like, you never know how the day is gonna go. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You wake up every day, you think you got some clients, especially in the beginning, because you're not on a booking app in the beginning, especially back when we first started.
Come on, man. I'm waiting on that conversation.
Exactly. So that's where you're headed right now, bro. So like right now, I'll be seeing like a lot of people, they think it's like a microwave thing, like it happened overnight, because they're going on gram, which is cool because everybody's showing you where they at now. Mm-hmm. But I feel like what's missing is the beginning stages of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like they think that, which is not wrong with it. They think that all you gotta do is post on social media. Mm-hmm. All you gotta do is make a cool reel and stuff like that, and it works to get you engagement. But in real life, I'm asking like, what would you tell a new barber in the beginning? Because they feel like if they ain't making it right away, they ain't done anything yet. When they understand the process that you see somebody doing right now might have took them 10 years. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So what's your advice to them new guys that's trying to figure this out in the beginning?
That's a great question to ask, because I've been asked that question like numerous of times, especially throughout my career. And like just where I'm at in this season of life now is, number one, just putting God first, and seeking him first, and living the way that you're supposed to through his righteousness, so you can have all those things that you want added to you. You feel what I'm saying? So for me, I would just tell the upcoming barber, just like, hey, hand all of everything that you're trying to do over to God, and take out all of your wants and ask God to show you what your needs are. You feel what I'm saying? Because sometimes we could go into something with all of these wants. Like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. And sometimes you could be chasing something that ain't even for you.
Right.
You could end up being successful at something that ain't even for you.
Right,
you feel
right.
what I'm saying? So I feel like with me, like, not to say that my career, I mean, it's been a true blessing, you know what I'm saying? Right. But I think I found myself being successful at a lot of things that wasn't even for me. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, when you sit back and you ask God to like truly direct your steps and show you what's actually for you, and not come at God like, hey, I want this, I want this, I want this. That's when life gets sweet, because even when you feel like you may not necessarily be where you're supposed to, you like, well, I'm still on the right path because this is what God showed me that I was supposed to be doing. So no matter if it's happening right now, I'm still doing what he's told me to do. You feel what I'm saying? But when you outside of that and you chasing something that either you want or you done seen somebody else have, and you like, that look good and I want that, that's when all of those troubles start to come. That's when the pain start to come. That's when it's like, man, like, I feel like it ain't coming fast enough. That's because you're doing something that ain't even for you. You
right.
know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would just tell any upcoming barber, make sure they put God first, ask God to direct their steps, and be in the place where you're willing to listen. You know what I mean? And understand that with anything that God gives us, he literally gives it to you in steps. You get what I'm saying? Right. So you can be prepared for whatever it is that he got for you. He's not going to just hand it straight over to you, because right. you may not know how to handle whatever it is that he's trying to give you. So he's going to prep you. He's going to equip you for that moment of what it is that he's trying to give to you. That way, once it do get handed to you, you know how to take care of that thing. Right. You feel me? So sometimes we think, I know when I first got into it, got out of barber school, I thought that I could go straight into having a barbershop. I ain't know nothing about a barbershop. You feel what I'm saying? But in my mind, I'm like, well, me being a barber, that's what it's about. I got to have my own shop. But he allowed me to go through the steps of seeing what it was like to manage a shop, to work in a shop, to see the ins and the outs of what a barbershop came with. So that way, when it was time for me to have my own shop, I knew what to expect. And that's how God does it with us, man. Anything that's for us, that he wants us to have, he makes sure that we take it step by step so we can know how to handle that blessing when it comes.
You know, God will show you like the vision, right? Mm-hmm. But God don't necessarily show you how you're going to get there all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes, like you said, that pain and that the struggle come with it. Because if he showed you all that, you might not attempt to walk up this mountain.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, during those times, like, I know for myself, right? When you putting God in front, God holds you accountable for the things that you know.
That's right.
Right. So, with that being said, during your journey, I know how mine went, right? Mm-hmm. The time that you veered off, how did God bring you back? Because you know there's time when you cutting hair, and you know when you make them, you know, like I said, it's faith, and you held accountable for what you know. So when you're going outside of that, all of a sudden business might slow down a little bit. It may change a little bit. So during those times, how do you get yourself back on track? Because that's one side of it, but the other side of it is I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Like God now, I see where you're taking me, but I veered off track for a little bit, and now I'm trying to get back on track. Right. Like, what would you tell somebody that may think that they got off this road, but now they're like, you know what, I want to get back on it, but I necessarily don't know how to, or I'm ashamed of myself. So.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times when we do steer off, it's like, it ain't a light. It is. The enemy wants you to feel beat up. The enemy wants you to feel like, you know what I mean, you so far down that you can't get up. But like I said, we have grace that's available for us. You feel what I'm saying? And we have to also show ourselves that grace to be like, you know, at the end of the day, you know, is whatever you're going through, God can pull you through that. You get what I'm saying? And for me, I grew up obviously in church. Granted, I wasn't like heavy when I was coming up in it. And, you know, when you go to church as a kid, you just going, you know what I mean? Because you kind of like told to, and you just going through the motions of what church is. But as I continue to grow into the man that I am today, you know, obviously, even when I was falling short and I was falling back from God, it was one of those things where I was falling forward with my hand out, looking for help. You get what I'm saying? And it's a difference between falling backwards. I say this all the time. There's a difference between falling backwards and falling forward. When you falling backwards, it's almost like you kind of enjoy it. You know what I mean? You just, all right, I'm going to fall again, and this is cool. But when you falling forward, it's almost like you got to reach out to try to make sure that you ain't, you know what I mean, losing your fall. So in that, I was always making sure that I was reaching out, like, God, even though I may be steering away from you, I may be doing wrong right now, whatever it may be, fix my ways, get me right. You know what I'm saying? And even in that, God was just like, you still got to show yourself grace, because I could forgive you all day, but if you can't forgive yourself, it don't mean anything.
Had a problem for a long time. I'll get off track, bro. And I want to forgive myself for a long time. Yeah. So then I'm using my faith against me. Yeah. Because people don't know it go both ways. You know what I'm saying? Bro. So when you're speaking that thing out loud on yourself, I can't do this, so this ain't gonna work out. That's you using the same faith God gave you to work for you against you.
Come on, yes sir.
And I tell people that. I tell people that all the time. Like, there's been time I'm sitting in the shop and like I see like guys, they'll come, like, you know how people always say like, oh, it's slow in January. Well, if it wasn't going to be, it is now. It
is now. You just spoke it.
Exactly.
It's power in the tongue, bro.
And he judged you by your heart. That's so right. Like you said that from your heart. So now you about to get the result of that, because he can't go against. That's about to
be the fruit.
He can't go against his word, man. Yeah. So that's why I try to tell dudes, just keep your focus on positive things. The negative thing to take you down, bro. Yeah. And when you think about it, like when you focus on negative, that take way more energy just to believe like, it's gonna work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause when you work out, you get a peace. Like, all right, cause you hear people say all the time, like, yeah, I was good when I let it go. Cause once you let it go, you stop thinking about it. It was easy. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on all that. So let's get into the barber stuff, man. More. So like, all right. Like, I know people asked you this question before, right? We would talk about Babyliss and how did that happen? How did this become a thing? Right here. Now, how'd you feel when you got it, man?
Man, truly, honestly, a blessing, man. Like I said, God blessed this whole situation right here. I had a lot of things written out, you know, on my goal list, you know, as being a barber. You know, you probably heard many of the things I used to say back in the day that I want to do. This was definitely not one of them, you know, and it's funny how things can just come about that, once again, you're not even asking for, but, you know, he'll pour it out onto you. And how this came about, I think it was back in 2015. I used to do barber competitions all the time. And this was probably about my 4th or 5th one that I was about to do down in Miami. And it was wild because this was like my first time ever venturing out, like out of state by myself, going to a barber show and just taking a risk and just seeing like, man, let me just see what this about. Like, don't put no doubt in your head. What could go wrong, man? You in somewhere you don't know. Right. And it was just like taking myself out of my comfort zone. And it was just amazing because it was one of those things where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just go down there and just kind of shake hands, you know, network and just talk with people. And I remember the week of when I was supposed to go, like, God placed it on my spirit to ask like 2 of my clients, like, yo, y'all trying to go down to Miami? Like, I pay for your flight, I pay for your hotel and everything. And they're like, what? Yeah, man, yeah, I'll go. So they knowing that, you know, I was gonna do, you know, the barber competition and all that. And sure enough, I went down there, man, and I executed. You know, I executed both competitions that I was in. One was for old school cut. Right. The other one was for creative cut for best barber in America. And Babyliss had sponsored the event. Now, granted, I'm not looking at who's sponsoring the event, who banner up on the wall, right, you know what I mean, who done threw some money into this competition. But, you know, they were the ones who sponsored it. And after I won that, obviously, that you know, that spotlight was on me. You know, like, who is this dude? You know, best barber in America. Like, you know, he came in going crazy. Two categories he won, left that thing over $2,000. Like, I mean, yeah, so it was definitely a moment. But the wild part was when they did reach out to me like weeks later, like it was one of those things where they like, yeah, we found out who you is, we see you won, and we thinking about putting you on with the team. We building up a team right now. Like, there's something you want to do? And I'm like, ain't really my thing that. Like, you know, I already kind of had in my mind what it was that I wanted to do, but, you know, I prayed on it, and I'm thankful that God pointed me in the direction of Babyliss, because I actually had like Andy's reach out to me, a few people from Wallet reached out to me, and obviously, you know, those are like the OG companies, so it's just like I could have went that route, but, you know, God was definitely pointing me in the direction of Babyliss, which was cool because they was like that upcoming company, you feel what I'm saying? Right. So they needed the input from the barbers. They needed that, like, that new face that was, you know, up and coming. Right. So it felt right, bro. So I went over there, and just to see, like, I remember my first show that I did. I'm thinking it's like a Bronner Brothers show, just kind of go on the floor, just showcase what I do and just stunt. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just show off what I do. And the first show I did was in New York. It was the IBS New York show. And I didn't know they had shows this big, bro. And went in there. Of course, Babyliss got the biggest booth out of every booth. Got the biggest stage. And they like, all right, man, we need you to go up there and show what you know. And I'm like, nah, son, I ain't doing that. Like, there's way too many people. Like, let me be over by the booth selling the clippers.
Right,
you know what I mean? Y'all need me to do a little something. They like, nah, we need you to go up there, tell the people what you know.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, this ain't what I do, bro. Like, I'm kind of like one of them guys that stick to myself. I barely talk like that. And over the years, man, I had to learn how to do it. So yeah, it was just a blessing. And with me, over the course of time that I was working with Babyliss, the clipper came about, I would say like about 2017, the idea.
Right.
And then 2018 is when we dropped it. But they was just seeing the grind that I was, putting in. I remember the first show that I did that was an international show. It was down in South America. And when they sent me, I'm like, yo, why y'all sending me to South America? Like, I don't know no Spanish like that for real. Like, you know what I mean? They spilling Portuguese down there. Like,
I don't know where you went.
Yeah, I don't know none of that. And it's just like, it was crazy because when I got down there, they even the people that was running their show was like, yo, why'd y'all send him? Like, I ain't send a Spanish barber or something. Like,
right.
And they like, nah, he the truth. Y'all really gonna like him. So when I did that whole show and I got down there and they seen like, yo, this dude is nice. Like, he cutting everybody. He cutting all styles. He doing he doing everything.
Right.
And for them, it was just like, nah, we really like this dude. And then they also got to see my character too. You feel me? So beyond it just being like, oh yeah, he's skillful with the clippers, yo, his character is everything. Like, I didn't go over there with my head all high, like they wouldn't messing with me. Like, nah, I looked at them like my brothers and sisters and we was just all down there chopping, you feel what I'm saying?
Dope.
So they really felt that. And ever since I went down there, they was always just like, yo, y'all got to bring him back. Y'all got to bring him back.
That's
like,
dope.
we missed that guy. Please get him back. So after that, Babyliss was just like, yo, like, this dude got a presence everywhere. And when they thought about doing the clipper idea, they brought it to my attention, and I was just like, man, it would be a blessing. Yeah. And sure enough, it just took off, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you something else he left out with the story,
Come on,
right?
man, talk to me,
so,
man.
He won the battle, right? But let's say how you retired from battling at that time. Remember when you was like,
Yeah.
I ain't battling no more, and then we talk on the phone. You was like, yo, Ran, I hopped in battle. I wasn't even going there to battle. I was going there just to cut, showcase.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah. Which one?
For the Babyliss ring, when you got a contract, because you won Best Barber in America, remember?
Yep.
And you at the time you was done battling, and I forgot who you said convinced you to battle.
Yeah,
and
matter of fact, it was Jay. Yeah, Jay had me come to his show. Yep. And like I said, that was after the fact though. Yeah, that was after that. Yeah.
That was after the show?
Yeah, that was after the show.
See?
Yeah.
I remember you talking to me about it. It's like, it was crazy. Because the conversation we done had, man, like, that's why I brought you on to talk about like your faith and how you use it. Because I've seen it done in person. I remember we sitting on,
bro.
what was that, 2012, I think? We sitting in front of Jersey Mike's on Barry Parkway.
Yeah.
And you was like, yo, Ran, why should I do an IG? And I was like, what you talking about? And you said, what? I'm going to do all this stuff. And then all of a sudden I'm looking, you start going celebrity, you start doing shows, and then you start going crazy. And it was based off of like, all you did was say what you want to do and put it out in the air. And it happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, man, that helped me out a lot. Because I didn't understand how faith, like, you like, people always say faith, right? And they say faith without works is dead.
Work.
But if they not understanding the work is your faith.
Yeah.
A lot of people think the work is going to work. The work is the work of your faith. And you are really good at that. And, and you help me out with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's all.